Godswill Akpabio is more than the law, and Natasha is equal to the law.
You know, when this situation came, the reason why I was both excited and angry was that I thought that this is two powerful people in this particular battle, and then we can see to a logical conclusion.
No political leader is more important than the led or the populace. All right? They are simple administrators.
The Nigerian political scene is currently abuzz with discussions following Senator Natasha Otuodohan's allegation of sexual harassment against the Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Subsequently, Senator Natasha faced a 6-month suspension cited for misconduct not relating to her allegations. Today on Street Parliament, we tend to look at the complexities of this case, focusing on gender dynamics in politics, the nuances of due process, and of course, the implications for the Nigerian democracy. My name is Chimmeli, and I have with me today two very passionate Nigerians to discuss this situation. I have here Hawa Alabora, who is a businesswoman and an activist. And I also have David Ogidinta, who is a life and business coach. Behind me, I have a couple of passionate Nigerians as well who will lend their voices to this conversation. And now we'll go straight into the questions of the day. I will start with Hawa. Hello, Hawa.
Hi, Chimmeli. How are you?
I am fine. Thank you very much. As an activist, when you heard these allegations, what was your first reaction?
I started this case right from the beginning. So it wasn't only the allegation. I started from when, I felt like she was being bullied, from the Senate. And, when they gave her a ridiculous 6-month suspension. Okay, no, that was even after, but there were if situations that were building up to something was wrong. And if you go on my social media pages, especially on Twitter, which is now X, I was writing around it already that the woman was reacting in a way that it seemed that there was more to whatever is happening. So I was very curious to see where it was going to lead. And, when she had that outburst, that was my first to say, oh, what's happening? Why is she shouting so much, or why is she upset so much about, a seat change? So when she came out on the TV to actually talk about sexual harassment, then I just, said, you know what, I believe her totally, because this is a man that we know that, other people have also accused of sexual harassment. So it wasn't really hard for me to believe her and her outburst and the pattern and how it started. I just knew, and that's why I've been supporting her since, and that's why we led the protest for her. I've been speaking about it. It's just something I'm passionate about, and I think that she must find justice, even though I feel like it's been swept under the carpet. We continue to talk about it until, she gets the required justice that she needs.
Okay, thank you very much. Now I will ask this second question, though it's for the both of you, but I will start with you since I am already here. So there are supposed to be protocols for addressing allegations as heavy as this, especially for a sitting Senate president.
Yeah.
Do you think that these protocols were adhered to in this case, or like you were pointing out earlier, the case is subtly being swept under the carpet?
I think it's being swept under the carpet because after this allegation, first of all, the 6-month suspension is an attempt to sweep the allegation under the carpet, like I've always said, because she probably wouldn't have gotten that if she did not come out to talk about sexual harassment, because even in their Senate book, it doesn't it's a 24 hours ban from the National Assembly if you have a seat outburst problem. So giving her 6 months, I feel like it's an attempt, because you can see all the playing, even when we led the protest, I was talking about the protest, there were pro-Akpabio protest supporters already on ground, even before I got there, like they were in their thousands. So this is a money play, this is a power play. So I don't think she might get the justice that she requires. But I really, really, I love her courage, because she has gone for her own justice in a different way. You can see that she's gone media all over the world. She's talked about it. Now there's a stain and a taint on the Senate president internationally for sexual harassment. But will she get the justice in Nigeria? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much. So I will throw that same question to you, Mr. David. I'd like to know, there are protocols that are supposed to be on ground for addressing such cases, such heavy cases of sexual allegations. Do you think that these protocols were adhered to in this case? And if you know some of the protocols, you can as well tell us.
Well, if somebody's still crying, it means that due process has not been done. So for the fact that she goes from one media house to another to cry that injustice was committed against her, both locally and internationally, it means that the right protocol is not served yet. Even the Senate is divided at the moment as to the heavy hammer that was laid on this particular case. However, when issues like this come up, it can go either ways. She could be right, she could be wrong, she could be saying the truth, she could be lying. The defense that, or no defense that the Senate president had given, could be right, could be wrong. But until these are tested in the law court, and I guess both parties are already in the law court. In the Senate, they have regulations to address grievances by members, grievances from outside. Okay, they are supposed to be the face of the people, right? So if any constituent or even a member of the parliament is aggrieved in a way, you don't use hammer to stab the fly on the ground. So there are questions. There are questions about transparency, procedural overlook or misconduct, whatever you might call it. So, but I think it's an unfolding case. It's not been dealt with. So, as a Nigerian, I'm on the lookout. I want to read. I want to see that justice is served. But so far, with what I'm seeing, I don't think it's done. Yeah.
Okay. We know that Senator Natasha faced a 6-month suspension, and it was not cited for the allegations or anything. It was just cited for misconduct. And Hawa has just talked about the Senate trying to sweep the case under the carpet. Do you think that this is a reason for her suspension in some sort of way?
There's this adage said, if an animal cries in the night and somebody dies in the same house, it means that maybe it's that animal or the witch or whatever. All right. You can't, personally, I think they are connected. And both the media or the parliament or the parties involved are not doing right in covering it. All these are connected. And of course, somebody who is aggrieved said the genesis of her mistreatment is because she had refused to yield to sexual advances by her principal. However, it is a case that she had called for help, both locally and internationally. And I believe she also gone to the court, whether suing the principal, her boss right now, or other persons who have bought the case, like the other senator who is name calling, the social media and all that. Okay, so from citizens' standpoint, what we are seeing, what I'm seeing personally, is that these things are connected. All right, until there is a proper investigation, proper litigation, and then they said that, my sister, you are crying foul. There's no basis. Some people have, like, I was reading yesterday, one son, Abakuba, came and said that there were no evidence. I don't know where he got his own evidence from. All right. So people are interested in this case. But what I'm seeing, what most Nigerians are seeing, I guess what Hawa is also saying, is that all these are connected. But when these are tested in the court properly, of course, Natasha is equally challenging her suspension. So both procedurally within the parliament, the decision, some has said, is rash. Some has said it is because of the way she had painted the parliament in a bad light. So yes, I think it's connected with that sexual harassment allegation.
All right, thank you very much. Now I'm going to ask Howard the next question. I'm going to ask you too as well, but I would like to start with you. As an advocate, how do you think that this case, or do you think, first of all, that this case has or will affect the participation and representation of women in politics? And how do you think it will affect?
So women in politics in general, there's little or nothing for them. In the House of Assembly, it's just 4%. So I feel like this case, because I look at things that happen to be like people will see as terrible things, as something, as an advantage point. So I feel like this should challenge more women to actually run for positions of power, should challenge more women to go into the elections even in 2027. So I feel like we should use this situation, because what we've had is silencing of women, especially in the National Assembly. You see that they are not even women that people can look up to and say this is a powerhouse. Mostly it's men right now. So what Senator Natasha has done is she's been able to empower and embolden more women to say, look, you can fight all men, you can fight 20 men and defeat them. She did that in Kogi with Yaya Bello and everyone. She's doing it in the National Assembly with the Senate president and even the leaders of the National Assembly. And she's currently even leading them. So it shows that she has the tenacity and she has the power. So this situation should encourage more women to run for office, rather than feeling affected that there will be no space for them, because all you need to do is fight. And if you can fight and you know that you're there to represent your people and you can actually work for your people, then there's no reason for you not to join politics. So you should empower them and embolden them rather than suppress them.
Okay, all right, thank you. I love that response. Mr. David, I would also like to ask you the same question. Do you think, and how do you think that this case, the way it's being dealt with, will affect the participation and representation of women in politics?
Yes, straight answer. It will. But it goes both ways, all right? It can encourage, it can discourage, all right? I would differ a little bit from Hawa, in the stance of the fights, the defeating of the men, flooding them here and there, because as a life coach, we are for everybody. Now, there is a clear impact on the psychology of the young woman, whether they're interested in politics or not, all right? Whether they are interested in what they do in National Assembly or not, all right? If somebody feels that their right is being infringed, we all need to speak on top of our voices to rally around to make sure that justice is served, all right? So am I encouraging self-expression? Yes. Everyone who is abridged in whatever. I don't even have any interest in politics. Of course, I'm a man. And I'm not even encourage any of my daughters to go into politics. All right?
Why not?
Maybe Chimmeli and Hawa and all the people who are interested in politics can do politics. We can consult and contribute our quota the best way we can. Because politicians don't set the right examples. In fact, the fight right now is not about politics. It's not about representation. This is man's inhumanity against the other. If Senator Natasha is wrong in her sexual allegation, she's committing man inhumanity against the Senate president. All right? But if she's right with her claims, all right, tested in a court, it means that the Senate president didn't act well at all. And they didn't represent the men or the legislators in whatever way. So everybody, I'm for the Nigerian populace who are watching, seeing how the turn of events go. I'm pained. I have 2 beautiful daughters. All right. What I would do if, God forbid, there's any report of sexual harassment, I don't know, and I can't say that on TV. All right. But I'll empower my girls. Before you come to TV or the National Assembly to allege, you would have committed something in the background before. All right. So yes, express yourself when injustices are being committed against you. Don't keep silent. If you're interested in politics, go. If you feel that your constituents are misrepresented and the only way you can, include them is by speaking up, talk about what is not done right in the society, by all means, go and do that. But we are not in a battlefield, all right? We want what is right to be done. Is it done? Will it be done in this case? That is left for us to say.
All right, thank you very much. It feels like you have a rebuttal for something that he said.
I really don't have any rebuttal, but it's a woman that's involved. So I'm just encouraging, and I'm going to stand behind her, and I'm hoping that this situation will bring more women into positions of power, because I heard, sometimes some politicians go on TV and they say things like, "Oh, she's affecting what she's doing is going to affect so many women that want to run for office." I feel that's ridiculous, because you cannot, the voters and the Nigerian populace include women and men. So, men cannot in politics now say a situation that has to do with sexual harassment and allegation would now affect other women who want to run for office. So I'm definitely rooting for this situation to empower more women to go into office. So I understand him. He's a life coach, and life coaches have to be balanced. So I get it.
Oh, yeah. All right. Thank you very much. Right now, we're going to go on a very short break. And when we return, the conversation continues. Welcome back. This is still Street Parliament on Trust TV. My name is still Chimmeli, and we have been having conversations around sexual allegations in the political space, talking about the Natasha Akpoti case versus the Godswill Akpabio. I have with me passionate Nigerians who have been lending their voices to this conversation. So right now, I am going to start with Mr. David. The question that I have for you right now is, aside from the Natasha's situation, generally in the political space, how I mentioned earlier when she talked about the record of the Senate President Godswill Akpabio, in cases like this. So I'd like to ask if or when allegations like this come up against political leaders, how are they expected to take care of it? How is the case supposed to be handled to ensure fairness to everyone involved?
Thank you. Thank you so much. First of all, political leaders are humans. They have blood running in their vein, and they are not above the law. All right? So no political leader is more important than the led or the populace. All right? They are simple administrators. And I hope they know that. All right? So when you commit an offense and feel you can get away with it, if you don't answer here on earth, you answer when the Lord comes. All right? So beyond the circles of your power that you wield at the moment, you are not above the law. All right? That being said, every political leader, I want to assume that you are asking what Senator Akpabio is supposed to do, even when this allegation is done. In developed countries, in a place where there is rule of law, I think the most appropriate thing will be allow investigations to go on. I also don't think is right to oversee an allegation that is leveled against you. All right? So he was supposed to step down, recuse himself, let justice be served. All right? On the case of Natasha, no matter what provocation, the committee was not supposed to have sat in her absence to pass judgment in absentia. All right? I don't think that was also done right. I'm not a lawyer, but as a human and as a life coach, we see some of these injustices done and continued repeatedly. All right? So political office does not preclude you from the law. So what am I expecting? That they should allow the due process be done. In fact, I see the disciplinary committee reconvening, even though they say that is, what do they say in the law right now? That because the case is in court, they are not supposed to treat it, all right? But they are aware the case is already in court before they start the first time. They got a memo from the court even before they proceeded. So as long as somebody is not satisfied, they should revisit. So to every political holder out there, you are a human and you have humans around you. Your conduct, the way you carry them out, you should know that it affects you and affect those around you. So be conscious of that. And then when you are found wanting, let the right thing be done. And then you walk yourself back. If this goes to see that actually Akpabio sexually harassed Natasha, right? What do you expect him to do? He's supposed to find a way to win back the confidence that the public have on him, all right? It's not the end of the world. Many great men have suffered, some of these failures in the time past. Many women even, all right? So because you are in power, you said you can't allow this thing go, but you have the whims of power in your pocket. No, that's not right. So allow for due process and make sure that everybody is protected, including yourself, your sanity also.
Thank you. You have something to say about actually don't. Okay, that was shocking. All right.
I don't. I just agree with the fact that he says, we're all humans, and even if it happens to be true, that he is sexually harassed Senator Natasha, I believe that he can, do things to win the confidence of people back. But yeah, we just asking for justice. So let's see the case and of course, bring proof. She has always said that she has proof, and she's waiting for the right time to bring out the proof. So let's follow the case and see that if there's any proof on this matter. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. So now the question for you, what support systems do you think should be in place for people, not just women now, but individuals who come up with such allegations, especially against people in power, people more powerful than they are? Because as it's for the case that we're handling right now, Natasha is almost as powerful as Akpabio from what we've seen. So for people who are actually not on the same level with, the people that they are bringing these allegations against, what support systems do you think should be in place to actually hear them out and help them?
So, when this situation came, the reason why I was both excited and angry was that I thought that this is two powerful people in this particular battle, and then we can see to a logical conclusion. So what I should have been expecting is maybe a small agency, because sexual harassment is happening to both men, both women. But the problem is sometimes when they report to the police, especially even sometimes when people have abuse in their marital homes. And I have a case where she went to report, and they say, oh, maybe you're not the one not cooking for your husband properly and all that. So it makes these people like tired to go and even report cases like that. So with this situation with Senator Natasha and Senator Akpabio, we need to have, maybe should we say, a small agency. We need to have start to finish process or due process for people that want to report sexual harassment. We need to have organizations that support government, because what's happening is more NGOs are the ones that are doing these cases. So there's no government interference. So what we need is we need an agency that is an influence of government, that people can know that if I'm sexually harassed, I can go to that agency. There are lawyers in the agency. There are people that I can show proof of my sexual harassment, and there are people that would actually take this case or move this case into a logical conclusion, as opposed to leaving it opening to the Nigerian police and to the court. I feel like they're dealing with so many issues that this issue should be taken to an agency. So I'm hoping that they can fight for us, because I usually don't fight for politicians, because I know they will settle either way. But the only reason why I'm passionate about this case is because there might be a conclusion or something that can affect Nigerians directly. And what can affect us are agencies that would say, if I'm sexually harassed, I'm going to go there with my proof. I'm going to speak with somebody that the government is aware, NGOs are aware, the public is aware, and that would make men in Nigeria and women in Nigeria to act, a bit better than how we currently act when it comes to sexual advancement and harassment.
Okay, thank you very much. And right now we're going to take the mic over to some members of the populace, and we're going to hear from them directly.
Thank you very much, Ma. I love your stand, and I kind of support some of the things you say. But looking at Natasha's case, I think we need to hear more from her, because she's always saying when the right time comes, we see the evidence. We need the evidence. We need the evidence, because the whole thing is now talking about like young ones that want to go into politics, especially the female ones. This whole issue can like discourage them from going into politics. But if you have evidence, and because he said something like the Senate president is supposed to step down. I think that is just because you cannot be overseeing your own case. Justice can never be served that way, because he's the one in charge. So there's no way he will fight against himself.
My view on this would be, I'll be very neutral, because I have no interest as regards the issue, but it is a matter that affects us all in the country as a whole. You understand? We can see an allegation of infringement of personal liberty from Senator Natasha, and we could see that the matter was raised in the House, which has invited a third party to hear of such an allegation. You understand? If such matter is of the tendency to not be true, Senator Akpabio can decide to sue for defamation. You understand? And the case will fly if because what has happened, we can't deduce if what she's alleging is true. You understand? So I believe the court system will be there. But like my brother said, yeah, in law they say nemo judex in kaswaswa. You cannot be a judge in your case. You understand? So I feel the Senator Akpabio has probably done something ultra vires. You understand? He has done something beyond his power to intervene and be a judge in his own case. We have the court system. If Senator Akpabio has felt like his right has been infringed, you understand, he can go to the court as well and sue her for defamation.
All right, so I'm going to come to you next, and then we can wrap up.
First and foremost, you can never be a judge in your own case, if that should be the case, as he stated. And we have two types of Nigerian: the ones that are above the law and the ones that are equal to the law. So now we just use the parliamentary system of Nigeria to check and balance it. In this case now, somebody among them is above the law and the other one is equal to the law. If I may say, Godswill Akpabio is more than the law and Natasha is equal to the law. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As we navigate the complexities of this case, it is imperative to uphold the principles of justice, fairness, and transparency, because it is only through open dialogue that all voices can be heard and we can ensure to strengthen our democracy. It has been a very insightful conversation today on Street Parliament. Join us again, same time, same station, for more interesting and informative discussions. My name is Chimmeli.